I'm in Tirana at the midpoint of my trip from Shkodër to Korçë. So I have a math talk set up at the university in Korçë. Korçë is the 8th largest city in Albania. It's about 76,000 people, and it's known as the Paris of Albania. So one of my missions is going to be to figure out why that is. And we have just a really weird organization of bus stations and things in Albania. There's no central bus station. This one takes people in that direction. And that's my bus over there, and they have popcorn if anyone wants any popcorn on the way. So it's time to begin the journey. The trip to Korçë is something like 3 hours. So we got to stop at the bathroom here, get a nice mountain view. And of course it's raining because it's constantly raining in Albania at this time. I'm at the bus station. I need to get to my hotel, which this time was provided to me by the math department. And this looks like it's a nuclear cooling tower or something. I don't know. I thought Albania was more hydroelectric powered, and there's some abandoned buildings and some mountains. So I'm hoping already this is going to be an interesting place. Mountains were about 850 meters up, and that's a little over half a mile for any Americans watching this. And so it's kind of cold and a little bit windy right now, and honestly doesn't look anything like Paris. Probably it's actually a lot safer than Paris. Thank you. Thank you.
The breakfast is from 8 of the morning till 10 and a half.
8 until 10:30. Okay.
Yes.
And I will be checking out tomorrow, but going back a little later. Can I leave my stuff like in the reception? Okay. All right, thank you. Oh. Bed. Bathroom looks okay. Hopefully no surprises. Korçë is one of the places in Albania that can snow, and I came prepared for that. And that makes me a little surprised because I was saying, okay, what if there's an interesting thing I find in the hotel room? And there is a scorpion hanging out in the shower. So I'm glad I found this little guy before I took a shower, but hopefully he'll scurry off into the corners. So I don't want to hurt it, but it might also bite my toe. I left the scorpion in the shower, and now there's a little time for me to explore, and I have a warmer jacket on, so that'll help. So there's someone from the math department that's going to meet me in 3 hours, and I don't know what we're going to do. We'll figure something out. And my talk is tomorrow in the morning, so I have a little time to explore. Growing up in Detroit, this is something you don't really ever think of yourself experiencing sometimes. We have the snow-capped mountains in the background. We have the beautiful architecture and the church bell in the background. We're looking a little closer at this. Is Balkania? What is it? What is it? I'm not sure what it is. It looks abandoned. I mean, it was nice from the outside. Oh, it's broken. It's abandoned. Yeah. What does that say on the top? Lambi a Filip Bakant? What does that say? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know much.
Uh-huh.
Jo, kjo, 1, ajo 2, 3, 4 kanë qenë lagje.
Të vjetër.
Këto kanë qenë lagje të vjetra, 200 vjet.
I missed recording at the little kid was saying, "Don't go inside, it's too dangerous." She probably doesn't have any idea some of the places I've explored also in some of my videos, but I'll take her warning on that. Albanian English is pretty good, and if I saw something like this in Ukraine, I would just assume it's accidental, but this is kind of a funny pun of Titty's Grill, they have chicken breast or something. That's actually pretty clever, maybe just totally by accident. From what I'm seeing so far, this city looks absolutely nothing like Shkodër or Tirana or Durrës, and it's kind of almost hard to believe it's the same country. Although you see the Albanian writing around, I can recognize the language pretty well at this point. I think I'm going to get nowhere pretty quickly. I'm trying to go to this famous mosque here, but I keep getting distracted by like these beautiful streets here. I don't know if it looks as good and beautiful on video as it does in person, but this is just so picturesque. I am wondering a little about the English skills here. I'm going to have to talk to people and see, but sometimes there's some correlation between some very strangely named things and the local English skills, where you have people like the language, but maybe they don't know it as well. You start getting names like Bazaar Lounge. And this is almost like the sort of thing I would expect to see in Ukraine. And let me just be clear to any Ukrainian viewers now, like I love Ukraine. I love going there. But definitely there's some very strangely named stuff. There are constant reminders everywhere in Albania of the regime of Enver Hoxha. And here, this is where a Orthodox church was. And it was, I guess this outline is more or less saying where it was. It was demolished in 1971 by a communist regime because they're atheist, to make way for the public library. So this is in commemoration of the church right here. Well, I'm an idiot and didn't follow Google Maps too well, but I ran into quite a nice consolation prize, if you even want to call it that. So this is not the mosque, this is the Orthodox cathedral. And now it makes sense. What we saw back there, that was where the library was in the old location of the church. This is the rebuilt version right here, with the snow-capped mountains making for just a super, super, super picturesque background. This is just amazing. When I was eating, I was talking to my mom on Messenger, and she pointed out on these travels, like, there's always some difficulty to finding a way to take a shower or brushing my teeth or anything like that, whether there's no water at all, whether there's no hot water, whether it's scorpions. So I still got to kind of think what to do with a scorpion, because apparently some of them can actually be quite toxic. Probably this one is fine, and I don't really want to hurt it or anything, because it has a right to exist just as much as I do. So I just met with my contact here. I couldn't really put any of the meeting on because they're playing a lot of copyrighted music. I'm on the way back home, and I found a little wild animal keeping guard. Kitty cat! Kitty cat, you want some food? Kitty cat. Hey. You want some food? Oh, Kitty's hungry, but a little scared. Kitty can't be too afraid because it was standing guard watching for people. So far we can already put this as an advantage of Korçë over Durrës. We have 4 dogs just kind of sleeping and relaxing rather than running around terrorizing the place and chasing things. So I approve of that. That's one thing I did not miss about Shkodër. And so after talking to my colleague here at the university, he assured me that the scorpion that is in my hotel room is safe, or mostly safe, I guess, and that it's the scorpions in the mountains that are extremely deadly. We're gonna try to take the scorpion outside and catch it. Let's open. Okay. So scorpion is down there, and can I do anything to assist with this? I have my passport in this thing, so we'll maybe try to. We got the 2 of these. Oh, what's moving? Okay. Oh, okay, so it's not that bad. I read online that they'll be okay outside, they won't freeze, so. Oh, okay. All right, thank you, thank you.
Sorry for this, but
Yeah, it's okay. I can now shower. So I'm gonna write out a few postcards. I gotta mail some postcards tomorrow since I'm leaving Albania very soon, and I'm gonna go to bed. It's morning. I don't normally do very well in mornings. I tend to think well at night. So I have to force myself to get up and go give my talk, but I think everything will be fine, so. This place is a lot more beautiful in daylight for sure. So I'm on the way to the university. I should be there soon. Oh, hello, I'm here. Okay. And people compute trillions of digits and it looks normal, but how do we know that after some point it doesn't just go something like 00440400? The problem is if you have a real number, if you fix that real number, maybe you know its decimal expansion, but do you have any idea what its base 83 expansion is going to look like? I can say it. I don't say it right now. Mirman Jesse, Pression Yeti, Mir Passion, I'm all done with my talk, and actually my contact didn't show up. Everyone there informed me that he's usually going to be late, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes hours, so I'm just going to kind of wander off on my own, I think. Just kind of in contrast, have these buildings. I didn't quite see what those were like at night, so I think I'm just going to do a few things before I finish going back to Tirana. Honestly, I'm really tired, and I've been running all around the country, if you've seen my previous videos or not. And I think, I have a really early or late flight. It's 4:30 a.m. Saturday morning, or it's Friday night, depending how you look at it. Have I mentioned before that it's constantly raining in Albania? I think I've said it enough in my videos. So I was gonna go check out a few more things, and there's a bit of a downpour. I need to mail some postcards. One thing I love doing whenever I'm in another place, I'll send some to my family, but there's a friend of mine back in the Detroit area, and he lives with his parents, and I'll send him all these weird postcards, sometimes threatening. This time I'm sending him one that's threatening to go back in time and erase him and replace him with a chicken or something stupid like that. I'll address him to his parents sometimes, so it's a little bit of an inside joke. And they'll be from all kinds of exotic locations. So I got to do that, and get someone requested some sort of tea that I bring back. And if the rain lets up, I'll swing by this mosque, but I'm not sure that it's going to, and I need to get back to Tirana. Josh, the USA. I still haven't found any really good reason why this should be called the Paris of Albania, to be honest. I mean, maybe the closest I was thinking about it, maybe this is kind of the Eiffel Tower of Korçë. I'm really not sure. Anyone please fill in the comments where it got this name from. I'm not a fan of this rain, but then look, we have this wet dog right here, and it's like they don't have any shelter. So I kind of feel bad for them. I sort of feel the cats are maybe a little better at finding somewhere to hide. Last thing I had to get, this Albanian mountain tea, chai Molly. So one of the secretaries who I know is watching this from my university, so shout out to Justina, asked me if I could bring some back, and they put up with a lot for me trying to set up these trips. So definitely I want to bring back some gifts. with all these errands and walking around the, not really too big city, but around the city, time's gone by quickly. So I actually kind of need to rush to get the bus to get back to Tirana in time, because the last bus leaves in 45 minutes. Here's the mosque. I really want to fly the drone around it and take a look from the sky, but for sure it's probably a bad idea, even though it's not raining so hard. So I really need to rush back and pick up the stuff from my hotel and get to the bus stop now. I made it back to the bus station in time. There was a little dispute over the hotel bill. The university's covering it, and they wanted me to pay for it, and I just kind of had to rush out to make it to the bus in time, but we're here, so back to Tirana and then back home to Poland. Back in Tirana, and this is really cool to see. The whole Christmas season is starting to get into full swing here, so this is nice. And I've been back in Tirana some, and I've had a little time to think about my time in Korce. And one thing that is clear, my intuition was totally spot on. The English skills there are not nearly as good as they are in other places I've been in Albania. And in terms of, the practical point of view from a tourist, it's really, I think, a hard place to really go and get the most out of, unless you maybe know someone there or have someone who's going to help you around. I think there really was a lot of cool stuff there that I just didn't really find as easily, just because of the language barrier, and people were friendly. But even in restaurants, I had a hard time talking with people. Sometimes my Russian helped a little bit, but my Albanian's nowhere near conversational. So I need to get to the airport in a couple hours. My flight is at 4:30 a.m. and it's really awful, and it's going to last 8 hours. So I think it's to Vienna, then Frankfurt, and then to Poznan. I'm in the Tirana airport, the Mother Teresa airport, and this represents the end of my Albanian adventure. In case anyone's curious what it looks like. And I'm tired. It's, I think, 3:30 a.m. right now, and my flight will be in a bit. And just kind of, in summary, like, the best thing about Albania for sure, just the super amazing hospitality. The people here are so friendly and wonderful, especially when they see a foreigner who doesn't know what they're doing. And honestly, the worst thing, at least from my experience, is the transportation, which is super, super difficult. And it's especially bad in a country like this where the incomes are lower and then they're expected to have cars to get around. So anyway, I'm out. I'm going to go probably try to sleep on the plane. So I don't know where I'm going to go next. We'll see where everything takes me. So it would really help if you like, comment, subscribe, all this sort of stuff. It does a lot for the channel. And I'm out.